are Monday and Thursday, and then this one is just office hours.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. So, yeah, a couple of things I wanted to go over with you. So as far as goals and getting alignment with the team and all that, and brainstorming with you more than anything else, okay?
Sure.
So that we can, come together with the ideas. So this is kind of a new experience for me because Kevin's organization, I I took a big pay cut and I went with a small company because I wanted to try something different. The bigger companies were all doing really wacko things.
Yep.
My last job was with a company that's not even on my LinkedIn. I cut it from my resume. It
Oh,
was
wow.
it was an insane boss that I was with for 3 months. And let's just put it this way: the guy that hired me quit the day he hired me, which really pissed me off. So I started the job with no boss. The VP was the one that was the jerk. Okay. So for 1 whole month, I had no one to report to, no one to talk to. I would send emails to this VP saying, who am I supposed to talk to? And he would just say, just make calls. I'm like, what? So
Right.
then he hired someone. I'm just telling you the story just for a good laugh. Then he hired someone, okay, who assembled a team of 8 people, myself included, right? And this VP proceeded to get on the call every week with the new boss's sales team, overrode the guy that he had just hired on almost everything he said. Okay. So that 3 people quit immediately. Okay. I lasted 1.5 more months till I called the guy up and I said, I'm out of here. And then he lasted 2 more days before he walked out. Crazy.
Oh,
But this
wow.
was with a bigger company. So,
Right.
yeah. So I said, I'm going to go with a smaller company, see if I can go with someone that, has their act together a little more, or at least is more flexible to, processes and listening. So that's why I'm here. so so it's interesting adapting to this environment, though. It's a smaller environment. That's why I treasure your input and such, because it's a different game. Like
Yep.
you said, dealing with Kevin, who's the CEO, owner, decision maker, is a different game, because I'm
Mhm.
used to companies that basically have their processes in place. This is how you do things. This is how we want, you know what I mean? Whereas Kevin is I think he's still developing. I just talked to the marketing girl and the SDR,
The marketing Aria?
Aria,
Yes. Okay.
and Trishelle, the SDR. I just
Yes.
talked to them both. We're going to have weekly meetings on Tuesdays at 1, so an hour
Yep.
before your thing, to coordinate and kind of discuss, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said,
Perfect.
here we are. We're the 3 musketeers. Let's go get some business.
Perfect.
But trying to develop what are they doing? So because and all of them said the same thing, Alex, which I think They're both of them were like, I'm only 2 months in. I'm only 2.5 months in. And I was like, I'm only a month in. So we're all new here. So we're all new to
Mhm.
Kevin's thing. So I'm open to any ideas and suggestions and processes that you feel will help us succeed. Anything that you want me to pass on to Aria or to Trishelle to help the process work.
So right now we're really here as your resource, right? So that you have that accountability from a sales perspective. And so what I think that you could benefit from the most
Yeah,
is, so how skilled is Aria?
she's still in college.
Got it. Okay. So, oh, you have some heavy lifting to do. All right.
And Trishelle doesn't know much either. I can tell you.
No, I
I'm
know.
talking about,
And
and neither does
and
Kevin.
I put Kevin in touch with a very, very, very good SDR team. But I believe, he's pretty adamant that they need to work inside of Odoo, which
No comment.
may, yeah, one topic at a time.
Yeah.
So it is, as I have said, that it is not my favorite platform. I believe he will find it harder and harder to get people that will work inside of Odoo. I don't necessarily think that is the sustaining growth engine that he was looking for, unfortunately. However, if there's a way to work with that SDR team, they're fabulous. They are more expensive. So I don't know if, but again, is it worth the meetings, right? So the average cost of a meeting. So what I'd like you to do with this one, sorry, what I'd like you to do with this one, because I think you do have a little bit of a lift, because some of what you're doing is a bit of common sense to you, right? Like
Right.
you've already been through it, right? And so
Right.
I'm not here to retrain you on how to sell.
Right.
I am here to be your advocate and to help you set expectations and goals and manage your way through the program, but also manage up a little bit. Because that's, a lot of what we have to do as sales professionals is learn how to manage up. Ask Nick, he has to manage me up all the time. Yes. So when we have to give data in a way that justifies a spend or that justifies a resource, sometimes they need to see it in order to make that call. And I think with your environment specifically, he's willing to spend the money.
I think so.
He just has to see that it's worth it, right?
Right.
So for Trishelle, and again, I have nothing against her whatsoever.
Right.
What I will say is she is not MSP focused. She does not understand the tech. She definitely does not understand the securities conversation. And you can pour into her and train her, or you can give her more admin work to do and then get a killer SDR company to come in and set up the meetings. What I'd like to, the way I would speak to Kevin about it is, here's how long she's been here. It's been 3 months, right? So
Okay.
she's been here for 3 months and she has not booked a single meeting.
I've been here for what, a month and a half and not gotten a single nothing.
Right. And it's nothing against her. She
Right.
hasn't had the right training. We actually, it's funny. One of the guys that I referred over to your organization is going to be doing a cold call class inside of this platform. He's actually in the process of doing the videos right now. So things like that would be very, very beneficial for her, especially not understanding the MSP space. But because of that, now we have to start saying, okay, we need to really reverse engineer what the value is of everything, right? So we have produced leads, MQLs, not SQLs, but we have produced leads, right? So people that have raised their hand and said, yes, I'm interested, call me, right? Or at least I'm interested enough to click around and get some more information. And then following up. So we're still doing the follow-ups and all of that. From there, we send it over to Trishelle or an SDR or whomever.
Right.
She also should be calling out to cold lists, because a true MSP's SDR is going to do that.
Exactly.
I would also be, especially because you guys are focused on a very, very slim focus group and that margin, right? So you have to have people that have to be CMMC compliant. Right? Have that very, very short window. I'm not saying it to tell you doom and gloom, but I'm saying you guys have to be a lot more strategic about what you're doing. So what I would do if I were you is I would reverse engineer the value of a sale, which I think we found that the average value of a sale for you was what, 35,000?
Yeah, and just to slow you down there. So I had this conversation with Kevin. I'm just going to throw more input into you and see what you say. So,
Sure.
he said that the average sale is between 3 and 10 grand, depending. Okay. And well, you say, so I don't see any real 10 grand deals on his company's plate, but and I understood when he hired me that he had some expectations, but we went over them again. And I immediately said, I don't know if that's realistic. He was like, I want 10 grand a month from me, Brian. And I was like, 10 grand a month. Okay. And that's what I was doing with the bigger companies, Kevin, that had a lot more resources and a lot more things pouring out.
Well, are you talking 10 grand? What does that mean? 10 grand net new MRR?
Yes,
Or are
new
you
business.
talking new business 10 grand a month?
Yeah. So, and I was like, two new clients, he said, or 2 new clients, which I don't. So first of all, I said, well, let's bring down the expectations to at least 8. I said, I got to tell you, I was just with a gigantic company and theirs was only 8. I said, so
But
don't,
that's still MRR. So if you're saying that it's 10 per month, that's still coming up at, that's like 120,000
right,
per year.
right,
Is
So-
the average sale 5,000 a month in MRR?
Yeah, so if one sale is 5,000 to 10,000 MRR per
Yeah.
month, that
right,
means you're looking at anywhere between 60 to $120,000 per year of value, ARR. Yes?
right, right.
Okay.
And my thought process is, I think we can get there, but like you were just saying, and now I'm going to reverse engineer. We have to help him put some things in place so that we can get there. Not
Right.
put the cart before the horse, because he's trying to put the horse before the cart, and we don't have the cart moving.
Well, so let me finish what I was going to say about reverse engineering. And
Yeah,
now this does not mean that you don't do cold calling, because right now your output is going to have to be way up here to even schedule meetings, because right now you're not getting any help.
right,
So other than us giving you some leads, which now I believe those leads are now going to you, so you can at least call somebody. You've got somebody to call, right?
right.
You got somebody to reach out to. So that's good.
And I've been developing my own lists too, that I've been
Right,
curating.
and you
Yeah,
should, you
yeah.
absolutely should. But what I was saying is, if an average deal is anywhere between 60 and 120, now you get an average on that, and let's just call it 85, right? So let's say that we've got an average deal size of 85,000. 85,000. If he wants one of those deals closed every month, that means you have to have 10 of those deals in pipeline every month.
I know.
Which means, hold on, you need to have 20 meetings minimum, if you are going to be converting at a 50% meeting to opportunity, which is never
Right.
going to happen. But
Right.
let's do it for easy math. We'll say 20. Okay.
Yeah,
I would prefer 50, but we'll say 20. So say you have 20 meetings per month will get him, after 3 months, say 1 deal per month after that. So 1 deal per month divided by 20. So that's 8,000, say 8,000 divided by 20. I can't do math right now. Somebody help me. I've been doing math, but I was doing basic math. Now I'm to the 5th grade level.
don't ask me about math. If I don't have my calculator in front of me,
Nick, help me with the numbers.
I don't think about numbers.
8,000 divided by 20.
8,000 divided by 20 is 40.
Okay.
400.
So 400, right. So 400. So that means a deal, a meeting, a solid meeting should be worth $400 per meeting to him. Does that kind of make sense how I got
I
there?
kind of hear what you're saying. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So now we have a value associated with these meetings.
Okay.
Now you can make the argument. If a meeting is worth 400 and I'm going to get 3 meetings out of this SDR company, I'm throwing it out there, right? So 3 meetings a week. Say we're getting 3 meetings a week or 4 meetings a week. 3 times 400 times 4. That means technically he should be okay spending $4,800 a month just on a good solid SDR service if they produce those meetings. But that's not where his head is at right now, because he's seeing what he's spending on Trishelle, who is going to require more training. And this is when I have those conversations. This goes outside of the sale, but it goes into figuring out the target, and it goes into figuring out the budget and the spend of a sales and revenue producing, organization. So it's not necessarily that he's putting the cart before the horse, because he has to make sales, right? How's he going to fund that activity? Right. But the low hanging fruit is you go after the referrals, you get introductions, you go to as many networking events as you can, you pound the pavement. It is hard. You're in sales. You've done it for a while. You understand how you know the grind.
Yeah.
But you do it with the caveat that, okay, you want me to do this? I'll go do it. But the minute I bring in 2 things in pipeline and it's got legs and you think it's going to convert, I want to be able to spend $4,800 minimum on marketing, advertising, and SDR, like just top of funnel, getting getting meetings in.
Right.
And then you go and you at least have numbers to back you up. Now, I rounded. You're going to have to look at real numbers. You're going to have to say, okay, 85,000 is the base. Just set that as the base and then start doing the same math that I just did when we reverse engineered it. But find the value of your meeting. Find the value of your conversion. Figure out what your conversion rate is from meeting to pipeline. And I know that's hard when you're first starting, but you know averages, right? For what is typical inside of a lot of these MSPs, you've got like a 20% conversion that you're aiming for. So that's why I was like, all right, so you're gonna want more than 20 meetings.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Because you need 10 in pipeline to get the one.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how you figure out the value of the meeting. And that's how you have a report and you can go to him and say, this is what I need to be successful. I know we don't have it right now, but can you promise me this if I deliver this? And that's when you start having that negotiation time as a salesperson, and it puts the onus on you because now you have to deliver, but it also lets you breathe knowing, okay, there's no way in hell's green earth that I'm going to be able to get this number that he wants me to get without resources. So
Right.
if I have to justify my resources, let me show you what I can do with nothing, but you promise that I'm going to get this and get him to sign off on it, because otherwise it won't work.
Yeah, I like that because, like I said, I spent the first month just learning his processes, and now that I've moved into the sales, which started last week, like I told you, there was nothing. I was like, where's anything? What? I've been here a month, and the SDR that you told me, I got not a single meeting booked.
Right. And you can also verify, and again, I am not trying to throw anybody out under the bus. That is not what this is about. And I am not, I'm not in the position to do that, nor would I ever do that. In fact, there's a lot of SDRs out there that bust their ass and they're very well worth it. But if this girl needs training and you got her at a deal, right? Maybe you don't want to get rid of her. Maybe she really is good, but she needs training and she hasn't had it because she's not used to this sale or where you're coming from or whatever. There's a lot of reasons that it could not be working, right?
Right.
It's our job as your head of sales over there. It's your job to identify what that thing is, and then say, okay, say out of the $4,800 that we should be spending to get these 20 meetings, right? Or 18 meetings, I guess, if you multiply by 4. So, of the 4,800 that we should be spending, we're spending 1130, right? Or whatever it is, 1187, whatever her hourly is, based on what she does. So at that point, you say, okay, I can either pour resources into getting her trained and getting her spun up properly and working out of the system and having the right conversations, or I can get another SDR to do the same thing that she's doing, see which one's better, and start tracking numbers, dials, calls, and then pouring in on training and conversations and cold call. It's a lot of work, but if that is what he would rather do because he wants it internal, that's totally fine. But then you just have to identify what's not working, how do we fix it, and do we have resources to pour into it?
Right.
She's been here for 3 months, which means either she hasn't gotten the training, or which may be, or she's confused and doesn't understand the offering because it's not the easiest thing that you're selling, especially because it's very niche and it is something that unless you're in the government space, you don't know what CMMC is.
Right.
Unless you're another MSP. Right. You understand what the compliances are. You understand what you have to do and what you have to adhere to, but you kind of don't know what you don't know. So you're not rushing out the door to get it.
Right.
Right. So it's a conversation that she has to have. And I don't know if she's the right person. And one of the things that I am big on saying, and my team will keep me honest and tell you the same thing. I'm very slow to hire, quick to fire. So it takes me a while to hire somebody onto my team in a full-time or a contracted capacity. I'll try them out in like a 1099 or, obviously can't be half pregnant, but I'll try him out a little bit, you know, and get you to that next step and see
Right.
how we do. But
Mhm.
from a full court press, I'm very, very slow to pick my team.
Right.
And
Right.
but then when we go, right? So it sounds like she just may not be the perfect fit
Yeah.
based
So
on feedback. And again, nothing against her. She just doesn't have it. She needs more training. And if you don't have the resources to give her that training and the
mhm.
support, she won't succeed. And then you're wasting money.
Right. Right. And I hear everything you're saying, and I agree with it 100%. And I have totally ramped up everything that I'm doing. I'm going to a huge event tomorrow
Mhm.
that's in Loudoun County. It's a lot of county businesses. Now,
Mhm.
I told Kevin, I said, they're not all government businesses. I said, but we have to get word of mouth. We have to start talking. We have to get our name out there. We have to start, we have to start somewhere,
Mhm.
So this is a huge event I'm going to tomorrow. Next week, there's an FBI event I'm going to next week. So I'm starting to go to events. I met an IT partner of mine today, this morning, and he's an IT guy that doesn't do the niche thing, and I said, but he does a lot of IT. So I met with him. I took him a flyer. I sat down with him for coffee. I talked to him about what we do, how we could complement each other, partner, and he was thrilled with that.
Amazing.
So this is where we're starting to. I said, and I have to tell Kevin, this is where we're starting to develop the process. But it's like you said, this is going to take a little while to get this ball rolling, since the SDR is doing it. And I hear what you're saying about cold calls. And 10 years ago, I was Mr. Cold Caller.
Mhm.
10 years later now, I'm Mr. Knock 'em down, not pick 'em up.
I know.
Not stack them. I'm the knock 'em down kind of guy.
I understand that. And
Yeah.
here's where I'll push back a little bit.
Yeah.
Listen, I like closing with the best of them, right?
Yeah.
And I like having the meeting set for me. However,
Yeah.
if there's a list that has to get gone through and the
Yeah.
team
Oh, I'm all
can't,
for it.
and
Yeah.
the team can't do it without you,
Oh, yeah. And I'm all for
you know,
that. Yep. And I'm
yeah.
all for that. And he's given her all the lists, so I don't have any lists besides what you guys just sent me.
Mhm.
And I told her today that I was going to go ahead and call those people, but she had already started calling people.
But that's good, right? But
Yeah.
what about all of the other people now? Are all of those people in your CRM? Has she entered them in?
No. Now, here's another thing I
Why
wanted to
not?
ask you about, because I asked her that. I said, have you entered these into the CRM? And she said, Kevin told me not to enter them into the CRM unless they're qualified. And I said, well, how do we track what you do? I have no idea.
Right. Okay. So that is, again, you're gonna have to manage up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you can't monitor and track if it's not going into the CRM. We need to put it into the CRM manually
Right.
because the connections,
That's
I
what I
believe.
thought.
Well, so originally what should have happened is it would have automatically gone into the CRM as soon as they clicked on something, but your developers, I guess, own that relationship. So we provided a Zapier and we provided the information to get it connected. But I guess it wasn't able to be done. So as soon as they answer a call, right? And not necessarily a phone call, but as soon as they answer a call to action, click through, take action, do something, they should be entered into that CRM as a marketing qualified lead so that you guys can further nurture those leads later. So that you can send the newsletters, you can call them out, you can say, hey, are you still looking to fire your MSP? Or hey, are you still looking to potentially be compliant?
Right.
That has to be inside of the CRM. Now, it does not have to be entered in as a deal or an opportunity, but the lead has to go in there. I would not say the cold list goes in there. That does not get entered because you're getting leads out of a huge list and you don't want to just muddy up your CRM. So in that department, Kevin's 100% right. You don't want to just throw in a list, but if they've taken some sort of an action and they're responding,
Right.
hell yeah, let's get them in the CRM.
Which is your lists that you provided her, which is they
Yes,
haven't hit the book meeting, but they've at least responded and they've at least clicked on the website.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. So
those lists should be entered. Yeah.
those should be entered into the CRM 100%. Outside of that list, if it is just a cold list and she's just dialing for dollars and she's taking it out of the phone book, let it stay in the phone book.
Right. Right.
Make sense?
Yep, it sure does. It sure does. Okay, so yeah, that covers a lot of the stuff that I wanted to go over today. And yeah, so let me pivot now to some sales stuff, if you don't mind. I'm
Sure.
just going to keep throwing stuff out at you.
Get it.
Both you and Nick, please feel free to chime in anytime. You look real good in your
He's got this blazer, man. I'm
I'm
loving it.
telling you, man. I'm
Was-
sitting here in a regular collared shirt, and he's looking like he's ready to make the $1 million deal. He's looking sharp,
Yeah.
man.
I
Welcome,
appreciate that.
welcome to Miami.
Yeah. Got that Don Johnson look, man. I'm dating myself. I was a kid.
It's the
when that
t-shirt.
came
It's the
out.
t-shirt, isn't it?
It's the t-shirt. It is. Very Miami Vice, my friend.
So let's pivot to our most promising thing, which I did put into your little chart thing, which is, okay, remember I told you on Thursday there was a potential customer. So Kevin had gotten some kind of cold outreach call
Yep.
from this customer. And he's
Wait, he got a cold outreach and then he's turned it into a sale for you guys?
No, he got a cold outreach and he turned it into he gave it to me and then I set up a call. So he said,
Okay.
this person outreached, I don't remember how he got it, but he
Mhm.
said, hey, reach out to this guy. So I reached out to this guy, said, I would love to have a conversation. I see that I think he reached out from our website, or I don't know the exact specifics. I have to get that from
I
Kevin.
wonder if he's from one of our lists and he kind of kept on going back. That'd be interesting.
Anyway, he was a terrific qualified lead.
Mhm.
Okay. So then, Kevin gave me his information. I set up a Teams meeting, and before the Teams meeting, I did all my research. I mean, I knew everything about this organization when I talked to him. It's funny because afterwards I was talking to Kevin. He didn't know anything about what they did, which is fine. I don't. Eventually, my goal is to not have him on introduction. I know he wanted to be on that call because it was an introductory call. My goal is to keep him off of introductory calls because those are for me to develop a rapport.
Yes.
To talk to the guy. I don't want to get techie with him on the first
Right.
call. And Kevin kind of started getting in the weeds and I couldn't stop him, but I was like, stop. Don't
Right.
get in the weeds.
And that ends up being a really typical problem that a lot of sales reps and sales managers have when they have the CEO or when they have the MSP on the phone with them, because they're trying to have a business consultative conversation of how does this affect your life, right? How does this impact your today and your tomorrow?
Yeah.
And the MSP, who is a technologist,
Yeah.
right? He's coming in and going like, wait a minute, this is how the sausage is made. I can show you how it all networks together. This is great. Here you go. And all you want to do is say, shut
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say was shh.
Right.
I said, we got to
And
develop
it's
a
one of the,
rapport.
right. And it's one of those, and specifically to your boss, because he actually admitted it to me. He just wants to get on to the next thing. So he wants to give him all the information as quick as he can, move on to the next thing and go. And I'm like, this is why you need a sales guy. So thank goodness he got you now.
Yeah.
Because now he can take that step away, but I think it's going to be hard for him to do it because he's so used to having to.
I'm
And
gonna
so
have to convince him.
it's gonna take you taking control of some of those calls. And again, it's gonna be part of the communication of you very clearly saying, okay, Mr. Customer or Mr. Prospect, the point of this call is for us to get to know one another. How this is gonna work is I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to then tell you about our company a little bit, and then I'm going to ask you some more questions, and we'll see if this makes sense to move forward. Now, with Kevin there, you're going to have to do another set of expectations of what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask you a little bit about your business, give me a little bit of background, then I will tell you about ours and me, and then I'm going to introduce our CEO, who can tell you a little bit about his methodology. And that way he can get a little tech and get a little in the weeds. And then what's going to happen is I will then turn it back to you in case you have any additional questions. I know I sure will. And then I can close. But you set the expectation. You literally give a summary of the book report before you give the book report.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Because that way he knows that he's only on deck for one piece of that call. Now, you can't always control it. And sometimes
I couldn't stop it from talking, Alex. All of a sudden our time was up. And so I actually said to the customer, once Kevin stopped talking, I was like, Pat, I know that we're out of time. Do you have 15 more minutes that we could go over so that we could move the conversation
the needle.
a little bit? Yeah. And he was kind enough to say, yes, I got like another 15 minutes. But I
Good.
mean, he wouldn't. I was watching my clock and I just like suddenly a half an hour was up.
Right, and that's just, it's moderating. It's essentially being a moderator of a call and saying, okay, Kevin, I know you've got a lot to share. You only have 5 minutes on this. Do your best, right? Or do your worst, right? Either way, you got 5 minutes, go. And then when it comes to 5 minutes, all right, just a reminder, you've got about 30 seconds left because I want to be cognizant of his time. And it's that way, it's not you, it's not Kevin, it's not anybody talking over, you're there to serve the client. You're always bringing it back to the client's needs.
Exactly.
See if that works.
Okay. Okay. So we got a second call in 2 weeks because he's actually going out. He's a government contractor. He's actually going out to Bahrain, or at least he was supposed to.
Oh, wow.
I know. So I set the call up for 2 weeks. He is someone that wants to do the whole CMC thing and the whole. So I want this to go right. So, I would love your input as far as how we can do this right so that we can get this guy, because this could be a fall win, and I'd like a fall win before we move into first quarter. I would like a fourth quarter win, and
That'd
this
be
is
great.
possible. Yeah, this would be a possible fourth quarter win, because if he comes at the end of October and we can set reasonable expectations, present a good proposal to him, etc., we might be able to get him before the end of the year, which is what I'd like.
So talk to me about the business. Who is he? What does he do?
Yeah, so it's called BBG. He's a government contractor that creates navigational equipment for government, and that kind of stops right there. But he compasses and electronics. They're based in Chesapeake, Virginia, which is a real tech hub over there by where all the naval base is and all that. They're over there. They do nautical compass work and tracking. All of their focus looks like it's towards electronics that's towards navigation and tracking and compasses and stuff like that. So and clearly whatever they were doing over there was top secret because he couldn't talk about it at all.
Right.
So what are you making? He's like, nothing. And everything.
Good electronics.
And everything at the same time, yes.
Yeah, he's a good electronics. I was like, because that's what it says on the website. Good electronics. No, it doesn't quite say that, but so I really want to figure out. So the next call with him is going to be on the 24th, and it's more going to be a discovery call. I don't think Kevin's going to be on. I think his guy is, which is his solutions engineer.
Sure. Okay.
Or we're going to go into a deeper dive into. I won't have as much to say because I don't know the tech end as much as what.
Can you record the call?
Yes, I will record the call for you, and then you can. But anything in advance that either one of you guys can help me with, because I want to get this guy now.
Well, so did you already get budget authority need timeline? Because this is more of a discovery call, so I'm assuming you did not get everything.
I didn't get a lot said because Kevin just kept talking.
I know.
and it was very frustrating. And I'm just telling you that, you guys, that
no, I know.
We definitely have to figure out how to. I mean, I didn't even get to talk about myself until the end of the call when I was like, just to let you know a little bit about myself. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Here's one of his main concerns. And I would love to hear your thoughts about how I can. He wanted to know how qualified we were, what our creds were, and Kevin doesn't have a lot, believe it or not. I mean, now he has told me there's not a lot when it comes to, there's not, right. And so I don't quite understand the space 100%, but this guy kept coming back with, I want your creds. I want your, I want to know what you've done, who you've done it with, blah, blah, blah. That was very important to him. And I see that with a lot of these calls that Kevin wants to reach out to these people, them saying the same thing. Because apparently he lost another deal before I was there because they didn't feel like he had presented enough credentials. Yeah.
So that's different. So I think what we need to do is we need to set the tone a little bit better and speak to who he is and what his background is, and the fact that he is recognized nationally as the expert on CMMC, because other MSPs look to him to provide services for them.
That's good.
Right? So that means that you and he did not set that expectation and that I guess that precedence there prior.
Mhm.
But it's also an education piece, because there is certification out there, right? But it's a different kind. It's like CEC credit. It's not the same. It's not the certifications that they're looking for, because what he's providing is the ability to pass certification, right? He's not giving them certification. He is prepping them. Now, what you could do is you could get an asset, and Aria may be able to help you out with this, get a white or a one-sheeter with examples and case studies of organizations that you have helped, and it doesn't even have to say the name. It just says, helped XYZ organization become CMMC certified. Here's case study. Here's the testimonial, right? Because when it's testimonial, you already know that it's going to be in your favor. And then another step of that is to then go thought leadership on it and say, here are the certifications that are available to somebody that is doing a job like mine. And you'll see that list is real short. But here's the book that my boss wrote on the subject, and the fact that all these guys look to us, because it is a little bit of the Wild West, right? Everything started out with NIST, and then NIST was like, it was baby version of CMMC. NIST was like, yeah, I think we got guidelines. And they're like, all right, great. What are they? Sure, they're listed here. That's basically how this all happened.
Right.
And so then CMMC comes along and says, all right, let's get a little structure over here. But the way I look at this is it was very similar to when, and this is going to date me very quickly in this conversation. But
I got gray, so
listen, I got it too. Nick's loving it, by the way. So what what this is, you upgraded. So one of the things that we are facing again is do you remember when EMR came out? All the electronic medical records became a thing in most of the hospitals.
Yes.
Right? So nobody had any idea how we were supposed to do this. They just knew that they had to do it, right? They needed to have some sort of an electronic medical record. They needed to have video, photo, copies, images, something, right? And they needed to have it on everything.
Right.
So at the time, I was selling software for user activity monitoring and forensic software, basically Big Brother. So people came to me saying, could you be our EMR? And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. So that's literally like how, we were having those conversations, because it was the Wild West. And little by little, they started giving more and more and more structure to it. So CMMC has given more structure to the certification process and to map it out properly. But that's, there are resources out there. In fact, Kevin's last podcast that I moderated, that actually gives a couple of the resources that MSPs are going to, and where he actually has gone and gotten training. So it's not like providing a certification, but it's educating the end user and the customer that it is a little bit of a Wild West show, and we are doing best practices, and is where they're documented, and here's the book that we wrote on it. Does that make sense?
It makes great sense.
Okay.
I love it. Everything you said is helping clarify how to present that to him in this next call. Because before I let James go on about his discovery, I'm going to kind of say these things to him, just so that he feels comfortable with us continuing on. So that's one of the first things I want to get out of the box. So that is terrific. That is great stuff. I love the white paper idea with Aria. I'll talk to Kevin about it. I mean, I asked him about creating a market.
And give her some samples, because if she's a kid in college, she doesn't know what a white paper is.
Right.
So it's the way that you can explain it to her is that it's basically it's a positioning article, right? So it's not thought leadership in a way of Kevin's the greatest. It's a positioning article giving background to what it is that you do and why it's important.
Right. Because I'll just share this with you real quick. Hold on. And just tell me when you have to go, if you guys have to go or anything like that.
Nope, you're good. You've got 15 minutes.
Okay. Let me see. Where's this? There's the share screen. It says host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Oh man, I'm so bad about that. I never, because I automatically
Doesn't like to
mute
share.
people.
Yeah.
I automatically mute people just for everybody's privacy and so that people don't talk over each other. And when we only have 3 people, it's not a big deal. How do I let you add? If I looked at securities, I'm trying to figure out how to let you share. Oh, here. I also have to be, I'm not very techie, can you tell? Start recording, set meeting timer.
Me either. I rely on solutions engineers like crazy to sell my, if you have a good solutions engineer by your side, you can sell anything is my
Totally. Haha, I figured it out. Now try it.
Okay, so let's see. Perfect. So can you see this compliance thing?
Yep.
Yeah. So I gave this to Kevin and I said, look, this is from a competitor. I said, but what I really like about it is its simplicity as far as identifying, compliance. I said,
Taking a screenshot of this so I can put that you gave this to him. I'm just documenting.
Yeah.
I'm documenting that he's got the pipeline tracker right there.
Does he?
Yeah.
Does.
That's right.
You do. Look, we got pipeline. Oh, that makes me happy. Now, are you turning it into him every week?
Oh, the pipeline thing?
Yeah.
No, because I was going to go over it with you on Thursday, and then I'll figure, I'll give it to Kevin.
Go over it with, so let's do this, and then we'll go over pipeline because you missed it last.
Okay. So so I gave him this, and he said he's going to have his marketing person work on his own type with his colors and all that, which is what I said. Good, because I said, do you see how easy this beachhead company has broken compliance down so that people can understand? It's about identification. It's about protecting. Here's the rest. It's about detecting, responding.
Oh, smart. Look at that.
And I told Kevin, and I don't think he was impressed. I said, I love the colors.
I like
and he's
it.
like,
I
really?
love the colors.
Yeah. I was like, I'm a visual person, and I think the colors instantly say what you're looking for, detect, respond, recover, and then these two being, identify, protect. I mean, this is what his business does. It does these things. That's what I told him. I said, this is what you do, this is what we do.
There you go. Fixing the language. I like it.
So,
no, that's, I think it might be a little too complicated. So essentially what they did is they repurposed what almost every backup company puts out for their own marketing. And it's detect, prevent, and recover, right? Or whatever it's going to be. Detect, respond. All right. So similar story.
Yeah.
I think if this were in more of an infographic piece, it would be really, really powerful because again, you don't want to lose what's important.
Right.
But you also don't want to confuse people that aren't as technical, right?
Right.
But I love that. I do think you need some sort of a solution or a tool like that, or a sales enablement asset. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Something like that. So hopefully he's got her working on something. So we'll see how that goes. And then, I'll show you what I've got. Let me,
now that I enabled screen share, now you can show me everything.
Yeah, let me hit screen share again. Hold on. And this one. Share. So I don't even know if I'm doing this right. That's why I mean,
the new sales target. So the overall sales, did you mess up the formula? Do me a favor, type in new sales target up at the top.
Where
it says
D.
D4. I sunk your battleship. Up.
Yep. One more. Yep.
Type in 10,000.
Okay.
I think you might have broken the,
No, it's there.
okay. it's
But
showing.
it should be overall. It should go and click on the number 2 next to it. I think you might have overwrote the formula there.
Here?
Mhm.
Yeah, hit 10,000 there.
Okay.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I want to make sure I did this right. So I don't know, 10 grand was what he had said originally, so I just put that in, right?
Yep, and so the new sales target is 10,000. Existing sales target, Nick, I got this wrong last time. Existing is expansion.
Correct.
Hey, do me a favor,
Yeah.
just change the word existing to expansion, or else I think it'll be confusing. Now, do you have a target? Do you have a target for expansion or no?
No,
I would put like 2,000 in there,
okay.
just so that you have it. Okay. And that means overall sales needs to be fixed, so Nick, you may have to send him another sheet that doesn't have broken formulas unless we just fix it for him.
Did I break this one somewhere?
Yeah, you got it a little broken, because overall sales is supposed to be a sum of everything on line 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you go to C4,
yeah.
there you go.
Mhm.
Click the f of x
What do you want me to type in?
up on the function.
Just put equals sum.
Yep,
Here?
there you go. Oh, not plus, equals.
I thought I hit it, sorry.
You're fine.
Equals sum, right?
Mhm.
Open not parentheses. Quotation.
Yeah, parentheses.
Yeah,
Parentheses?
parentheses. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
parentheses.
And then drag from D4 over to I4.
Yep,
From D4
yep,
here?
Yep.
there you go.
And then hit
Like
enter.
that?
Hit enter.
Well,
Or
I think
close,
did I drag
close parentheses.
It'll close, but yeah, you can close
Yeah.
it.
Nope,
Wait,
go back. Go back,
Yeah.
go back, back.
no, don't include C4.
Don't include C4.
It's just D4 to I4.
D4 to I4.
There
Yep.
you go.
And then close parentheses and hit enter.
Close parentheses here, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
You guys are Excel fiends like my dad.
He is. All right, there we go. Now,
Unfortunately.
now it's, all right, now it shouldn't be broken. All
Oh,
right,
now
so we're at BBG. And
Yeah.
now if you look at your weighted pipeline doesn't have anything. So Nick, you may have to help him fix that piece too.
You want me to just copy this and put it there?
No. Yes.
Yeah, I can just copy this for, right?
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
There you go.
So, yeah, I put him at 8K a month. I don't know if that's a reasonable number because we haven't delved into what his specifics are. But
Mhm.
based on Kevin's expectations of a deal, I figured, well, let's put it at 8K and see where we go, a month,
Now on probability to close, can you look at the drop downs on the available probabilities?
There's nothing.
There's
No,
no
that's
drop.
that's a match. That would be in deal stages, Alex.
Oh, okay, you're right. Sorry. Deal stage. It's just, I don't think I had ever seen 25% on there.
I put that in. I didn't know.
So
I-
you don't actually need to type anything. So get the 25% out and just copy the name, the fourth line. Don't delete.
Yeah, no, he's fine. He can
Okay.
delete those things and
That's
copy that.
Copy this?
Copy
Yeah.
that, yep, and put all that back. There you go. All right, now with discovery call scheduled, the probability to close should automatically populate,
It should, correct.
But it didn't.
but it is
Right.
not.
On that, yeah, click on that. Equals.
All right, do me a favor, go to deal stage down at the very bottom. There's a tab.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. I knew I hadn't seen a 25 before.
Oh, so what do you put, 10?
No, so well, it should automatically do it for you. That was the beauty of us doing this for you.
Oh, and I probably just
So
screwed it all up by putting my 25.
you only screwed it up a little bit. We can fix it.
Just send it,
So-
fix it and send it back.
What?
I said, just send it to me and I'll fix it and send it back.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's your email, Nick?
Nick@cyber-sells.com.
We should lock this so that they can't do this anymore.
Lock in Excel. I can
Lock.
lock Google Sheets because in Google Sheets you can lock a range, whereas in Excel you can't.
Nick@cybersells.com.
Cells, SELLS.
Here, I'll put it in the chat. Hold on.
Okay. Nick@cybersells.com. Okay.
Mhm.
Cyber-.
Cyber-sells.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so going back to this though, you can see where I was coming from. Now, these other two are current customers that he's got us talking to together.
Mhm.
So that's good too. This guy is at 3 o'clock. We're going to be talking to him, and I am going to run out of time with you guys. But just a funny scenario on this guy. Kevin sent an email saying that Wilfred's company signed up for 20 seats, and he's got 40 people that we've been servicing, and he's like, we've got to fix that. He's like, send an email to Wilfred. And I said, well, I'll send an email to Wilfred saying, hey, let's get on a call and have a discussion about some options you might have. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
because I didn't want to piss him off. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm hoping
Most of the time it's pretty easy. It's just like, hey, you're over, right? And they'll be like, yeah, you know.
Yeah. So I don't know what
They'll
this,
take a discount for as long as they can though.
I don't know what this number is going to be. I think it's going to be a lot higher, which is a good thing. And I'm going to get credit for that because, well, I reached out to Wilfred and said, hey, let's have a meeting and talk about it.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
it looks like that one is probably like a more than a discovery call scheduled. That's a true up, right? So what I would do is let's look at the drop down. And he is qualified to buy. He's already a client.
Yeah.
So I would go ahead and put that there.
Okay. And so is this guy.
Well, proposal with decision maker though, right?
Oh yeah, because that was sent out to him. Yeah.
Why was it sent out to him? Was it ready? Because I thought this was the older one that you guys didn't have buy-in and you probably sent this a little too soon.
This one is the guy with the multiple seats.
Mhm.
This one is one that this was a new client that Kevin got just before me, and they needed something else. And then he sent this to me and said, send this proposal over to Paulo, say they need this too. So I was like, I've never even talked to this guy, but sure, I'll send it because
Right.
it's my name now.
So what I would probably do is do an introduction email and say, or an introduction call and just say, listen, I'm now your account manager. This is, obviously I'm making calls to get to know everybody. However, it did come across my desk that we're in this issue and I just wanted to help you clean it up or help you get it all cleared up so that you show a little bit more like you're assisting.
Right.
As opposed to, hey, before Kevin sees it, I'd like to address this with you. Let's get on a chat and see what we can do.
Right. All right. I'm going to send this to you, Nick, real quick. First, I'll save this just so that you have this. And I just want to make sure we get this out to you real quick.
No, perfect.
Yeah. So we'll just throw this up here. Make sure I got the right thing. So it's NICK@cyber-sells.com, right?
Got it.
There he is right there. I just say Brian spreadsheet.
Perfect.
And I'll just attach this thing real quick and send it over to you.
Well, I hope this session helped you out.
It did, and I appreciate your time. It did. This was terrific. And I love your Monday and your Friday meetings. I think
Thursday.
Thursday, right? Yeah. You made that same mistake yesterday, though.
I know. I did say Friday. I was like, crap.
But Lewis is a character, I got to tell you.
I have, it's so funny. There are some really good people on this beta program that I
Yeah.
really enjoy. I think everybody has,
Yeah.
characterisms.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see. We're gonna have some more people joining us coming up in the next couple of weeks, so it'll be
Oh,
fun.
good.
It'll be
Oh,
interesting.
good. And
Yeah.
I try to stay quiet because I like to just hear what you have to say. And then, I only want to chime in when I got something relevant. So I try to stay quiet, but,
No, we like it. We like it. Listen, as the group gets bigger, I
Yeah.
really encourage people to use these office hours because it does allow for a little bit more one-on-one. And yeah, I'm going to pick on everybody to get through pipeline because as new people come in, they're going to need to see how it's done, right?
Right.
So for pipeline, just get ready to share your screen. We'll go through it. We'll do all the things. So
Well-
don't break our stuff.
No, I won't. In fact, if we've got office hours tomorrow, if we want to pop back on, we can make sure that we got it all fixed and all aligned. So that on
Perfect.
Thursday, you can at least have an example too, if you want. I don't know if
Hey,
anyone
I'm
else is-
using you as an example on Thursday. I like it. I like it.
Well, I'll pop back in tomorrow then, whether it's you or Nick, whatever, just to, so we
Perfect.
can make sure that we got this thing all straightened out so
Buttoned
that,
up.
yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I appreciate
All
y'all's time today. Thanks for listening.
You got it. Good luck. I hope it goes well.
I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.